Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host, Josh Summersgill.
You always forget that bit, don't you? Like I see you go, time. On today's podcast, we have Lauren Calvert, who is basically a well-known face in the CrossFit community for her work with Nocco, and she is a previous regionals team athlete, sorry, she doesn't correct me for that. Basically, we're going to let her explain a bit more about herself and how she got into CrossFit and why she's so competitive. But before we kick off, we do need to thank all of the NHS staff and key workers that are still working at this time. They're doing an awesome job, and basically, we appreciate it no end. Lauren was just telling us actually that the company she works for has been sending out care packages to NHS staff, which is obviously awesome. And again, I'll let her explain a bit more about that in a second. So, Loz, tell us a bit more about how you got into CrossFit, and again, why you're so competitive. Why you always seem to be up on the podium whenever I see pictures on Instagram. So, how did you get started, and where did it all come about, and then why are you a beast?
Well, do you know what? To start, the reason why I'm so competitive is that because my mum, Janice, and I know a lot of people know Janice, believes that if you don't win, there's no point in doing it. And I was told that from a very young age. So trained for months and months to play golf at the English Championships, came second. We drove all the way to Harrogate. I was absolutely buzzing. And she went, I don't understand why we came this weekend. It was Janice's response to me coming second. And I was like, well, brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Mum. And all the other mums were like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. But then I went back the next year and won. So, you know, all motivation and stuff. But no, to be fair, go on.
You played golf?
Yeah.
So your sporting background is golf. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? My sporting background is a lot of things, but I did like golf, football, rounders, and I played golf for the England birdie squad, and then I played rounders for England, which is, I know, is like the most random thing in the world. Obviously played football, like to a decent level, like nothing amazing, but you know, could run fast with the ball and won a few trophies and things like that. Don't play whatsoever anymore. And I'm sure I could still give some lads a run for the money. And I'm trying to think, I played like hockey and netball and always did throughout being absolutely off my rocker, as you could tell. My mum was like, I need to get rid of her energy. So any sports I had, Janice was like, I'm signing her up now. Put her name down, she'll be there. So I did like every sport there was after school. And then obviously me and Francesca just being sisters and being talented. Like our dad was in the army and boxer, gymnast, did everything, played football. And we just sort of got told that you were doing sport and that was it. And my mum was always like, she always wanted us to prove what we could do. And because we could, it turned out really well. So I did like that. And Francesca did athletics, and Francesca was like a really good sprinter. And then she started doing CrossFit through John Reed, who he's been regionals and all that sort of stuff at Faction. And she started going to CrossFit and lost all this weight and looked amazing. And she's like, you need to go to this gym. Because at the time, I'd sort of stopped playing. I had a bit of an arsehole attitude in the fact that I was a bit like, well, I've been there and done it now. I can't go any further. Like I've done international, so yeah, just going to go and celebrate being me. So literally worked in nightclubs, like got through my degree and thought, yeah, I'll just tick over and train. And I just did. I just trained to look good and went to a normal lifestyles gym, and that was it. And then Fran was like, you need to go to CrossFit. You're going to love it. It's this, that, and the other, this competitive nature that she knows we have. And I was like, no, it's not for me. You do you. And then all of a sudden she went to me for I can't remember what birthday it was. It might have been my 23rd. She got me a pair of CrossFit shoes. Remember them horrendous lime green ones? The Reebok Nanos. Yeah. She was like, EI's pair of shoes.
Might be before Josh's time, but I remember them for sure.
Oh, the threes, I don't know them.
Honestly, she literally was like, here's a pair of shoes, give me him, and here's a t-shirt. I remember it was like a Reebok one. And then it was like, you need to go to gym, but you can't come to Faction in case you don't like it and make a show me. So you need to go to another one. So I had to go to what was it called? Was it WA4?
Oh yeah, the one.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Cool. So
the Causeway, yeah.
Yeah, went to a WA4, obviously loved it. And to be fair, like, I love the people that were there were great, like, like, you know, high-end Warrington, as it is, or as they thought they were. You know, the dregs at Stockton Heath at the bottom. So went there, loved it, and then I went to what was the competition? In Clitheroe. Help me out. Chris Templeman's competition, guerrilla warfare, to watch Francesca. Went to watch Francesca, and I met Daniel, and we were chatting away, and he was like saying, "What do you do?" and told him about my sport. And do you know what he did? He thought at the age of 16, I won an award like as National Young Sportsman of the Year. Right. And he thought I was lying to him. He was like, "She's chatting shit to her." Right. He went home and Googled me. Right. Googled me. And obviously it came up. It came up on Google, and he just texted me saying, "You need to come this gym." Right. So and that was it. So then literally he was like, "I don't understand why you're going to a different CrossFit gym." Francesca got told, and then been at Faction ever since, and literally that's how it started. So, you know. Yeah, awesome. So, Big Dan has been your coach for like forever, by the sound of things, and I know you and Fran both have like a close relationship with Dan. How do you think that affects your training? How does that make it easier, better, harder? What's the? Do you know what the relationship between us and Daniel is it's a very beautiful and aggressive one, is the way to go about it. And he's like, if anyone ever sees a competition, I know you see us, that he's either coming at like we're either speaking about him or he's stood behind us. So like that's just the relationship we have, and it's been one of them where like he is probably one of the scariest looking fellas you'll ever meet when you first see him. You know, he's got big 7-foot guy, beard, scar down his face. You look like he's, you know what I mean, he's there, and he just likes to oversee, and he's got this unbelievable like caring nature towards me and Fran. Like we're like he just gets fully involved in it. Like it's everything to him. It's not just the coaching side of it. And you're like that with your athletes. I've seen it where it's not just a coach. Like you're family to that person. You're somebody that makes them feel a certain way. So this relationship with Daniel, it came with like, it was mad because obviously he was very Francesca, because she was competing, you know, she was one of the first girls in the UK, like, you know, excluding at that time, wasn't it, you know, in your 13, 14, 15 that would go into regionals. Like the UK girls were like, oh my God, these girls are good at CrossFit. And she was one of them. And because me and my mum went everywhere with Francesca, he was like, oh my God, like this is what this family do. And then Daniel was there as well. So we couldn't believe that Daniel, so we, as a family, we found it totally normal to follow someone wherever they went in the world. Yeah. Like, totally normal. Daniel thought that was totally normal as a coach too. So when that came together, it was like, oh no, wait, we're not going anywhere without each other. So like, I probably spent more weekends away with Daniel than anyone else outside the family. Yeah. And it just became like, he sort of understands us. Like, you know, when we've had a bad day at work, he just tells us to shut up or go away. Like, I've been in the gym before, gone in a bad mood, and he said the wrong thing to me, and I'm going home. And I've just gone home, come back the next day, and the slate is white. Like, yeah. I'll go in sometimes and wind him up because he's ginger, and he'll just tell me to leave the gym. But it's this nature that's come about that, like, you know, on the good days it's great, on the bad days it's, you know, it's okay that we're just moving. And then there's all right when it's like, he'll just say, if you feel bad, just stay at home. But then when we're competing, he's there. He literally knows us inside out. He knows what thought we're going to have. He knows when I'm not eating enough. And it's because he just cares so much that, like, even, like, honestly, some training sessions, if you'd have been in Faction, like, he's had me buy my jumper, like, because it was a very bad scenario. We were doing the, you know, the worm lunges. Remember the workout, Sid? Hold the worm, lunge, shoulder overhead, unbroken. Then the girls had to come out, then the boys had to switch up. The lad that was leading it, Dennis, and I love him to bits, and we have our mutual conversations, me and Den. It was like, whatever movement we're doing, say it and then do it. Don't just do it. Because there was a lot of movements, you know, together. So it was like, ready, lunge, go. Ready, shoulder overhead, go. Ready, turn. He went, ready, and he turned. There was no instruction, right? And this was like after like so many lunges and shoulder overhead, and we're here, holding it. And I'm facing the wrong way, obviously, because he just said ready. And I think it was, I can't remember who the other lad was, Sam Bogutski, they're this way. So Fran and Dennis are facing us, the two T-Rexes. And me and, you know, long arm Sally behind me are facing that way. So we spin round and get it under. Obviously, I got it on the wrong shoulder. because of the way it turned. Then he was like, you need to switch. So I switched shoulders. And he was like, no, the other one. So I went back, but he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to Sam. A few rotations later, I just went, you know what? Boom, threw the worm down, was not having it, fuming. And Daniel had given us very strict instructions beforehand and said, whatever happens, you do not put that worm down. He was very clear about that. So when I put the worm down, honestly, I've never seen anything like he jumped up out of his seat, grabbed me by me, and he went, you get back under that worm now. And I was like, I'm tired. Like, obviously, holding that worm. And every member in the gym just went like that against the wall because we were screaming. I went to him, lad, give me a minute, like this to him. And he was like, I absolutely won't. We're literally like that at each other's face screaming. Obviously, like, it's total affection. You know, there's no offence. And Leah, one of the members, went to all the other members because there were some new people in the gym. Guys, it's okay. They'll be fine in a minute. They'll be fine. Like that. Picked the worm up, finished the workout, and I looked at him and he went, you're doing it again. And I just looked at it and picked the worm back up, and that was it. But like, that's the level of, there is an ag where you get told and there's that, but then there's also that time when he needs to tell you that you're great at what you do and you're on the right path.
Yeah,
part of being a good coach, that, isn't it? Like, you know, and having a good relationship with your athletes to know when you can and can't do that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, and I think that's what makes him so great. And I know that, like, I'm, you know, obviously the favourite to Daniel, but like the way that he is perfect for me, but it's also perfect for Fran. But even the other people that are in the gym, he's perfect for them as well. Like, he's such a chameleon to wherever he needs to be. And like you say, he's done it for that long. Like, God, he did PT in before that, so he's been in the industry, like, God, how old is he now? Nearly 50. Don't tell him I said that. He's been doing it for, like, you know, 15, 20 years maybe. And, like, you know, if you pay attention during that to your career, it becomes like second nature to be that way with people.
Defo. I think, like, it's funny as well because you say it's like we have sort of similar dynamic at our gym, but like Dan manages to do both, whereas like Josh is generally the nice one at the gym. He's gonna be like, he's gonna tell you that you're doing great, and I'm gonna be like, that was shit, do it again. Do you know what I mean? And like, and it's knowing who you can do it with and who you can't. But like, we tend to do that between us as opposed to like you say, having it just as like one person, which is impressive, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he has got that, and it's like, you know, you need to get to know your members as a CrossFit gym, and that's what I said. Like, I've got to know so many different gyms over the years. Like, now, like, I know a lot of CrossFit gym owners, although a lot of, like, you know, members, and everyone is so different. Like, it's such a, you know, usually when you meet a PT, they're a certain type of person, aren't they? Like, not, you know, like, they're just this way and they live at CrossFit. You would be like, what? Like, they've all got the same common goal. They've all got the same, like, burning interest to keep fit and keep the world going. But they're so different in personality and the way that they are. And they've all got the same vibrance for life, but they're so different. And that's what I love about it, because you can meet so many people and they've got their own natures and their own kind of way, but they get the same results from all the members.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It actually brings me on because obviously you meet a lot of people in your job, and you're one of the few people in the industry as such that actually has what I'd call a real job. Where, do you know what I mean? Like, it's few and far between, aren't we? Aren't they? Yeah. But like, how? So you work for Nocco or Nocco,
yeah,
which we'll go with however you pronounce it.
You're saying how the Irish say it, but it's actually Nocco.
Nocco, right? Okay. I'll try and stay with that for now. You work for them, and obviously you go around. You were our original Nocco fairer, and used to bring us big crates of Nocco on a monthly basis, which was best day of the month for us. And how did that come about? How did you end up working for them? And what?
Do you know what? I've got the most strangest story. That I literally was a teacher before this, right. Like teacher, like doing behavioural management with honestly, underprivileged kids, like telling people. And do you know what? I loved my job, but I just wanted, like, I'd always dreamed of being in the police. Like, I dreamed of being in the police, and like being in, as most honest as the story goes, that was just what I wanted to do. I got in, and obviously they were very much of the thing that they wanted people to be fully involved in. You know, if you're in the police, you were fit and you were healthy and you were driving females to be more and do more, which is, you know, what society wants, isn't it? CrossFit gyms are like the only place in the world where no one has a sex. You do the activity and that's it. Do you know what I mean? And whereas like the police were trying to define that women should do more and achieve more, which is a great thing to be, because obviously they're not where we are, like they're not balanced, they're trying to build it. So I joined, got in, was absolutely buzzing, like literally childhood dream nailed. So I left my like teaching, like behavioural management job in the July. Literally got my notes and everything for meant to be starting in November. Came and then literally didn't hear anything. So I rang up and I was like, I'm just querying about my application, blah blah blah. And they were like, I'm sorry, who are you? And I was like, what is this going on? I've no idea. Like, I've literally just been told I'm getting in. I need to send my driver's license form in, blah blah blah. And they're like, no idea. It turns out I lost my forms and application. The person I'd been dealing with was on annual leave. When she came back, she was like, oh my God, Lauren, I'm so sorry. Finance had lost your forms. It's like, you know, when they send it to like, or wherever it was, like HR or wherever it was, I'd lost my forms, then found them. It happened to a group of us. We then missed the intake for November or September when it was. So they were like, right, we can put you in the February one. And it turns out that when they send the contract through and you get it, you've got to sign this form that says you can't have any days off other than the ones that they state in 6 months. Obviously, what do you think that coincided with?
Every competition that you want to do.
That coincided with the first year that I'd ever qualified to go to regionals. So I was like, rang them up, rang HR, and I was like, look, just so you know, this is it. So I sent all the tickets, I sent the email that we got saying we qualified, I'd sent the purchase things that we bought, I'd sent the accommodation, everything. I was like, look, like, I can't sign this contract if this is what it is, but like, can you give me some leeway? Like, you know, you said that this is what you want to do, you want me to be in the force because of all these things. And did it, and they basically said no. Wow. And I was like, right, okay. So then, but then the head of HR rang me and I was like, I'm really sorry that was the information that you got. Like, we'd love to give you, we'll give you a, basically what pregnant women get. Like, it's a special circumstance thing, because he said if we said yeah and we didn't give you any official documentation, like one of the sergeants could turn around and say you're not having the time off, and basically I would have failed my course if I took the days. Yeah. So I was like, right, okay. So when the time came, when, you know, I didn't sign my contract, so I was like, right, I'll review it. They went, but you do need to go for another physical. So I went for a physical test, went in, did it, and I got like I got 12.9, something like that, like the top end of the 12s. When I first did it. So I went in and they were like, you know, can I ask what you got? Can I ask what you got? And everyone was like, you know, 7.1, like 7.1 on a bleak test. I'm not being funny, right? 7.1.
You have to get 4.9. Yeah,
like something, it's like 6.5 or something like that. So it was like 7.1, you know, 9.1. The lad's like 10.1, 9. We're all this. He went, what did you get, love? And I was like, oh, like 12.9. And he went, no, what did you really get? And I was like, 12.9. And he went, I'll just go and check the paperwork. You don't need to mess around. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about? I was like, literally got 12.9. This like big guy, you know, being a bit cocky anyway, got in. And it turns out one of the guys from my CrossFit gym was in there. Yeah. And he was like, bloody hell, Loz, what are you doing here? And the guy was like, oh, how do you know her? And he went, oh, it's just CrossFit, like proper fit. And you know, someone's face falls through. Yeah. So during the whole entire thing then, he was like giving out the stuff. And he was like, you know, this is what, if you need any demonstrations, let me know. And I was like, I need a demonstration. How'd you do this? Because I thought, don't piss around with me. Yeah. So then afterwards, after that bleep test, I just rang up and said, can you withdraw my application? Right. Said, not my bag, not my thing. So didn't have a job, didn't have an income for like 4 months, something like that. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? And I just went, I'm going to sell Nocco. So literally bought a pallet of Nocco, got my, like, lent some off a friend, literally no joke, bought a pallet of Nocco, sold it to you guys, you know, and everybody else in the Northwest, out the back of a Suzuki Swift, no joke. That car has taken some serious weight. It exceeded its weight limit. So I did that, sold it, and someone rang me and was just like, how's your gym selling so much Nocco? And I was like, I'm selling it. And they were like, how is that even happening? So did that, and then the MD, Matt, who's like amazing at giving people chances to do stuff, was like, obviously, who is this person? Yeah. Like, and why is she selling Nocco? Like, I don't understand. And he met me and obviously was like, I think he was very intrigued and being like, teacher, police, selling Nocco out the boot of a car. How's that even happening? And then he literally just went, offered me a job as the field sales for Nocco. Took it, and then just went from there, and it's gone strength to strength. It was the most bizarre career story I've ever heard, and now, you know, Nocco is where it is. And I think it definitely started in the Northwest. is what I'll always say to people. And I think he believes that as well.
Yeah. Well, like I say, we couldn't get hold of it, and then all of a sudden you were like, "Yeah, I'll sell you some Nocco," and I'm like, "All right, yeah, sick." Like, and I always remember it because you used to show up, and we used to love it when you were coming in because we always knew that we were going to get a good story, and we were going to
Some form of entertainment happened in my life that day.
It was a regular thing where we'd be like, when's the Nocco fairy coming? Like, what's going on? Like,
what drama's going on in the world today?
Do you know, I've got, this is a thing, so much, like I went out for my birthday meal. This is another sort of thing that happens to me. Went out for my birthday meal like a month ago with a gym lot. This is, swear to God, this happened. Sat in Rudy's Pizza, all having pizza, food, what have you. Asked for the bill, right? And he was like, yeah, no bother, don't worry about it. Like, the bill didn't come. So I asked him again. And the guy was like, oh, no, love, your bill's been covered. So I turned to the table and went, which one of you arseholes has paid that? And everyone was like, wasn't me, lad, because everyone's lad, obviously, in the gym. Everyone's lad. No, what are you talking about? Craig's the Dan, wasn't me. And Ellen, you know, Ellen Hill and Craig, she went, Craig. And he went, it wasn't me. And it's jumped out of his seat, like that. And Daniel got all emotional and lad, it wasn't me. And I went to the guy went up to the waiter and was like, I said, I don't understand, like, no one's paid it. He went, no. A guy came over, random stranger, pointed at you and went, oh, I see it's her birthday, can I cover the bill?
No way.
Random stranger walked up and paid for like 13, 14 people, like meal and drinks, walked off.
And you still not know who it was?
No, honest to God, I have no idea who did it. Obviously, like, beautiful person, you know, and a great believer in karma and great things come round and stuff like that. But honestly, it was the most random thing in the world that ever happened to me. But as I say,
that was Dan doing that, and they just pulled the wool over your eyes.
Honestly, I was like, what the hell is... You know, one of them would have told me, I would have broke out of him. And they were like, they're all proper dumbfounded. And literally, Craig walked out and went, only you that would happen to. Like that to me. Totally.
Love it.
Amazing. And obviously you've competed on some big stages. But I remember one of the things that sticks out for me that I seen was when you split your head open. And then didn't you still podium on the day that you split your head open? And that was all over social media. And like,
do you know what? I think I didn't podium, but I think my sister did. But what happened was do you know what? Graham Kerr, he's a member of the gym. Basically, he was there was 2 snatch bars, and obviously it was like a workout, the worm workout before it. And he was like, when we'd done the worm bit, he was like, I'm done, need to have a minute, like, you go first. Obviously I went first, and then in his mind he thought, I know what I'll do, pick that bar up and swing it round. So he picked the bar up and turned, and the end of the barbell, I was obviously lifting my plates, just went ding, and I stood up and I went, lad, like, as if to say, like, what are you doing? He went, I'm really sorry. And then, you know, you just feel wet, and I was like, that's not sweat, like, I'm not sweating. And I was like, looked out the corner of my eye, and someone's face was like this over the barrier, and I thought, and then it cut down. I was like, oh, that's blood, that's 100% blood, like, I can taste it. So I tried to wipe it. Obviously then it just started coming more, because obviously they said the one was trying to educate me on how much you can bleed out your skull because it's so tight. I was like, brilliant. Carried on lifting, and obviously I went, like, literally Daniel and my mum, because the way the field was split, Francesca was on one floor, I was on the other. And somebody's trying to shout my mum, you know, Janice is getting shouted, Daniel's getting shouted, and I just seen Daniel go, like, you know, he's already pale, and he went, like, white. I've never seen someone move so fast. And he was like, get her off the floor, like that. And I was like, I'm fine. I think I threw up like a 60-kilo hang snatch. And I was like, no, I'm done. Walked off. And the first aider was there, and she's like, you're all right? And I was like, I'm going to go down here. You know, when you can feel it happening. I was like, it was there, and I thought, no, I can make it to the toilet. Managed to make it to the toilet, and then literally slid down the radiator onto my arse. And they managed to get me in like a private room, and all I could hear is, where is she? And it was our Francesca, obviously, running through the corridors, because somebody had come and said to her, like, Lauren's split her head open. Went in, obviously the one was like, the nurse went, oh, when she's seen it. And I was like, oh, that was great, thanks for that. Like, I'm going to need to get something done. So I said, I'm going to carry on. So I went to the hospital, which was like 2 minutes down the road, funny enough, the triage nurse was a CrossFitter.
Right.
It was like, oh, she was like, what have you been doing? I was like, oh, done this, what have you? Turns out Francesca used to coach her at Leeds Form. So she glued my head together. She didn't put anything else on it, so I could carry on. And she's like, look, I'm going to say this. Don't do handstands. Don't do this, that, and the other. Like, but you're going to do it, but I'm just going to advise you, like, you're going to wake up with a really bad headache tomorrow. Like, you know, it's going to be, like, next level. Sure, you might feel a bit hungover. I hadn't had a drink in 6 years, so like, I don't even know what it feels like anymore. Goes back to the floor, and Daniel's texting me saying, lad, it's starting, you need to get back, like, give me 4 days. Obviously, the workout started, I run onto the floor, so Graham's going. So Graham's doing his double unders, and I'm like, come on the floor, like this as it's going, like weaving between people's ropes, get on. I'm like, lad, I'm behind you, and he just was like that, looking at me. Carried on going, and then the next workout was handstand walks, and I swear to God, my head was like, boom, 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 boom. And I literally didn't make the final, thank God. I don't think anyway. Francesca did though. And the next day when I woke up, I thought I took a baton to the head. Like, I'm not joking. You know, when they advise you and say, you know, when you cut your head open, don't go upside down, don't do anything like this, make sure you're sleeping, you should listen to that advice. Because I had what felt like the hangover from hell for about 5 days.
Wow.
Worst.
I remember it being everywhere on social media. It was like so many people were resharing it and stuff like that, and it was just like I mean, probably not something you want to be well known for, splitting your head open. But,
it was no, do you know what?
I remember watching you run to walk like through the crowd. I'm like, why is she bleeding from her head? And then the next thing, then you come back like an hour or so later. I was like, she's fucking mental.
Been to triage, and to be fair, right, I'm not joking. I think I've still got now my hair parts a certain way from it, so I've actually got a bald patch, like a centimetre gap there, lovely. That when I blow dried my hair, it just falls right in it, and it looks great. And it's
that's how CrossFit you are.
Yeah.
That is how CrossFit you are.
People thought we was already nuts, and we're already got that place that people can go to, and that just teed it right up. That people had already thought that we were nails, and that just showed, like, I'll get it with a barbell and I'm still gonna go.
Amazing. I love it. So we've got one more question before we move on to the fun questions and the pub quiz questions, obviously. We mentioned about competing Filthy 150 recently and competing on a team at regionals. But like, you're one of the few people that has been on that sort of stage, and one of the few people that can compare between sanctional events and regional events. What are your thoughts on the differences? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? What do you think of the new format, and would you like to see the old format back?
You know what, right? In an honest opinion, I am gutted for anybody that didn't get to experience regionals, because it is honestly like, it's just it feels different. It's an amazing thing to go, and it's so CrossFit, and it's so professional in the way it was done. And you know, I'm not saying that, you know, Sanctionals aren't, because I think that they're very much doing their own thing, and they're becoming more like, this is how we do things, this is what it is, we have this equipment, it moves like this. It's, you know, they even said this year, like, them judges were in sync like no other. They were like running on the floor, down, whoa. I was like, look at this, like, that's where we're at. But when you went to regionals, that's what you were always getting anyway. It was professional. There wasn't people speaking, like there was a warm-up area, like you were lined up, you were filed in, you were in your pen, do you know, like you were in your pen waiting. It was a thing that you were like, I've made it here. Like, and the other thing is as well, if you make it to regionals, you top 30, like Europe.
Yeah.
If you make it to sanctionals, you've made it through a competition. So I do think it feels very different, because you're now like, you know, it depends who enters that competition. And to be fair, like, one of the most fun comps I did was Sid, 2019. I loved it. Like, obviously, if you watch me run the sandbag run, I didn't enjoy it. But the rest of the competition was, I think I was walking at one point, but it was, you know, like I loved the regionals and stuff. And to be fair, like, the team that I went with, I loved it. I was with John and Dennis and Lindsay, and like, I've known John since I went to school with him. So like, I got to experience that with him, and being there, and obviously watching Fran compete for so long, I was like, I need to get on that floor, whether it was as a team or individual or what. I was like, she's been there, so I need to do it too. And she's like that. If that had been me, she'd have been there the year before. And so there was that, but then the transition was very different. It was the whole, like, the qualifying process, because the Open is so unique and so special to go, well, you've done this, and then you have to wait, and you're nervous, and you're qualifying, and people are sweating over the Open. Whereas, like, now, because Sanctionals is a thing, I think people are coming accustomed to qualifying, entering all these comps, and if they qualify, they qualify. Whereas the Open, you're only qualifying. You've got one chance, and if you mess that workout up, that's it. You're not going to regionals. Whereas if you mess up for Filthy 150, you can go and enter SID.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the difference of it. But I do, because I've really enjoyed the teams that I've done, like, SID with, and, like, especially being on my team with Fran, because there's a telepathic communication. But I do think it's very different, like the level of, I don't know if it's the right, like, I don't know, it's just like a collective feeling. Like, it's really hard if you've not done both. Whereas if you speak to people that have done both, they will say that they love regionals, because at the end of the day, they were the top 30 in Europe. Like, you speak to all the old school girls, like, in the UK that have been to, regionals, and you put them up against even the majority of Sanctionals, like, they'll finish in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, the
One thing I'd like to see, and, like, I think because of all the whole coronavirus thing, we're going to see that there's going to be a lot less sanctioned events next year anyway. And I'd like to see that you have to qualify for them through the Open. That's just done. Like,
like a bit to give that again of, like, one shot.
Yeah.
Compete, and then obviously you can choose to peak them for whatever comps you want.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be, like, a really good. I mean, obviously, I don't get a say. Dave Castro's not exactly going to turn around to me and go, "So Phil, what do you think?" But, like, if that was, like, if it was up to me, that's how I'd do it. That's how I'd do it. And then you'd have, like, okay, I'm going to try and compete in these free sanctioned events and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, people can base.
The one thing that I've loved, though, is, like, do you know when people have gone to Sanctionals? Like, we finished, I think, 8th and 9th in the 2019 SID, whatever it was. I mean, we were a lot higher than that on the first day, and then that run came about, and it just totally threw us off. This is all subject with Daniel, that one. And then the experience of being there, because more people are able to get that experience now, and it's a shock. Like, you have to be at a certain level to compete there. Do you know what I mean? And some days I'm not there. Like, I'm not there at an individual level at, like, this moment in time. Like, yeah, team, we've given it a right good shot, and we've finished. We had some top 10 finishes, we had some top 15, top 20 finishes. But to be that fit and only finish there, like, it's a reality of how hard these Sanctionals are. Like, so when people are going to the games, they are the fittest of us, and they're the one that are qualifying out of them. But that's the one thing that I think has been the best thing, is to give people experience of, oh shit, like, that's what you need to do to get there. Like, these people that are training every single day, like, me and Fran hold down a full-time job and still train, and we did that. But then, like, people are doing it full-time, and then it's like, oh wait, we need to give more of our life up, and more of our nutrition up, and more of this bit up.
Yeah, I think, like, the good thing about it, like you say, is when you see people, like, I was at SID this year, and obviously being an affiliate owner, I was in the VIP area, and, like, I was, like, obviously there was times when Matt Fraser and people like that were, like, running towards you, and you just kind of, like, you see how well they move, how good they actually are, like, their timing, just everything. You were like, shit, these people are really good. Like, they're so, you get to appreciate what sort of a level they're on, whereas I don't think you'd have got that if it stayed in the old format. Because I'd have never seen Matt Fraser compete. I wasn't about to pay all that money to go over to the games, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think
it's an education for people, is more so, isn't it? And I think, but more so for coaches as well, because, like, coaches are now in the background watching other people coach people. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you go to normal competitions, or like just like you've Rainhill trials, or anything like that, like, your coaches there and they're encouraging, and like Daniel does it. But you go to somewhere like that and your athlete qualifies for the first time.
Yeah.
You're having to up your game to be there and be in that warm-up area, and you're watching people, coach them and lunge and stretch them and push them and do this, and it's like, oh wait, that's another thing that I have to do, that I'm having to learn. And I think that, like, you've watched it develop, because, like, in regionals, there's only certain people allowed up in the warm-up area. Like, there's no, like in Sanctionals, you can sort of get in and people can get a band and all that. Not like literally, it was like locked down. Like, if it weren't your heat and you weren't on, you weren't in the warm-up area. And that was it. There was like no bottom line. It was like, you know, what if you were in there and it weren't near your time, then what were you doing? And then, whereas at Sanctionals, it was like, at some points, like, it's a bit mad because there's only certain bits of equipment in the, you know, in the warm-up area. But then again, it was very similar to that at regionals. I remember there was like, you know, the worm workouts, which were obviously horrendously heavy, them rogue ones. If you've ever had one of the rogue worms, oh my God, right? It was in the warm-up, there was 10. Everyone's like, oh my God, get to warm up on the worm. 2 seconds later, 40 event crew, go and pick them all up and like, see ya. And everyone's like, you saw everyone just be like, what? They were just there.
Where they
But
go?
they'd left them in there for half an hour and people had just been looking at them.
Shit.
And then the second everyone was like, oh, let's warm up and do it. And I swear to God, every single one of them reps felt like a 1 rep max.
Well, we see. So obviously we've got the Compete Force ones. So
Yeah.
we've got them, and obviously I think they used them at Strength in Depth this year. And I remember seeing an interview with Froning after it, and he was like, "Those worms were so much lighter than normal." I was like, so that's the only thing I've got to compare it to, and I was like, "Wow, them worms are really heavy."
They were like, I think at one point they were like, I don't know if they were like 160 or something like that, or 160. I'm not like, but they were right up there. And then whereas I think them ones are like 135. So like that difference. Honestly, I can't even tell you how, like, the regionals weight of worm that year, like, if anybody goes back and watches them videos, there is some, I was doing low bar back squats with a worm.
Brilliant. Right. I've got some fun questions to finish with.
Yep.
So to start off with a nice easy one. Film, book or TV series recommendation for anyone. So it can be any TV, book, anything.
I mean, Friends is a series of mine because do you know what? I just think it makes people happy. It is a very feel-good thing. You can watch it in the background and you just think, God, yeah, I'd love that.
Forever Friends as well.
Exactly. I'm on like, you know, that is mine and Francesca's. That's what me and Francesca do. We're working from home. I'm on one desk, she's on the other. We put Friends on in the background and you can just hear us both go. Like laughing if Ross Geller's on. Because it gets funnier every time you rewatch it. Favourite film?
My missus, she sits there laughing before it's happened, and you're like,
yeah.
Why are you doing? What are you laughing at? Oh, right, okay. Well,
I could definitely script it. Do you know one of my favourite films? Let me think. I do enjoy The Green Mile. I think it's a beautiful. But do you know one of my favourite films? It sounds ridiculous. Have you ever watched the film Fracture?
No.
It's got Anthony Hopkins in it. Is that his name?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
If it's him, that is his name, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Find out.
But basically, it's just a great film. He shoots his wife, like point blank, kills her.
Yeah.
Walks into the detective and says, "I shot my wife. Now prove that I did it."
Yeah. No, I have seen. Yeah, it is a good film. Yeah.
Oh, watch it. It's literally just watch it. It's a really good film. It's one of them where I could watch it again.
Yeah, it is a good film. I like it. Right. So,
my favourite book, by the way, is The Art of Happiness, which is the interview with the Dalai Lama.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I like it.
But you didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Have a look at that one.
So, hopefully we're going to get Fran on at some point as well. So we'll see if her answers match yours. I'm going to give you 3 CrossFit style events, and I want you to tell me who would win out of you or Fran on each of them.
Okay.
Start off with an easy one. 1 RM snatch.
Francesca.
Okay. Fran,
as I say, actually she goes by Fran Calvert at CrossFit events.
Right. Okay. Kelly.
What is Kelly? That's so bad. What's Kelly?
Wall balls, box jumps, and running. 5 rounds.
Oh, I mean, I'd like to think that they're movements that I would absolutely smash her at. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Right. We'll see if she's got the same answer when we speak to her. Right. Okay. So last few, we've got pub quiz time. We're doing a pub quiz with the gym tonight, so this isn't going to go on until for a couple of days. So we'll see. They're all so 5 questions, all CrossFit based.
Daniel's going to kill me if I get any of these wrong.
Right. Okay. So name the 3 females who won more than 1 CrossFit Games.
Catherine Davis-Dotter.
Yeah.
Tia Claire Toomey, then
Yeah.
Annie Thoris-Dotter.
Bosh, smashed it. Okay. Name the benchmark workout that has muscle ups, hang power cleans, and air squats.
Oh my God. It's a girl as well, that, isn't it?
It's kind of a girl, yeah. It is a benchmark, but it's not. It's not.
Kind of, it either is or isn't. I don't know the answer to that one.
It's not named after a girl. It's Nasty Girls.
Nasty Girls. Oh yeah. Didn't they do something like that at the games one year?
Yeah.
They did that at the games one year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did like Nasty Girls version 2 at regionals.
Yeah, volume 2. Yeah. You see, I did know it, but I just didn't know that was the workout. Go on.
Question 3. What year was the 7-minute AMRAP of burpees introduced into the Open?
Oh my God, I did this as well. It would have been like 2015.
2012.
Was it that early? No, well, yeah, but have they redone it then?
No, but I've done it like 4 different times for different reasons.
I was going to say I've definitely done that as an actual
15 was
workout.
my first Open, and I've never done it.
Have you not? Oh my God, I must have been doing CrossFit a lot longer than what I thought then.
Right, okay, the next one. Yeah, I skipped that one. That one's boring. I'll come back to that one later. I tell you what, go on. What's the definition of CrossFit as provided by CrossFit HQ?
Are you joking? I mean, that's dead offensive. It's like fitness in 1,000 words. Daniel would literally be nailing me now because it's something. Is it constantly varied?
Keep going.
It's constantly varied. It's like functional exercise. That's so bad that I don't know the definition of CrossFit.
You was actually really close. Constantly varied functional movement executed at high intensity.
All I know is that CrossFit, as Greg Glassman teaches people, to be on the, the not willingness to die side. Have you seen his new article?
No.
No, watch his new video.
No.
It's good.
No. I'm not seeing it.
Do you know what else I know is that if my nan did CrossFit, she'd be able to get herself back up off the floor if she fell over. That's what I know. But she doesn't do CrossFit, and I keep telling her.
I keep saying the same to my mum, to be fair. So, who won more regional and games events, Matt Fraser or Josh Bridges?
Oh, that's a really... I mean, it's got to be. What I say, because the amount of wins that Matt Fraser had this year and last year, what I say, Matt Fraser. But you're going to probably throw a spanner in the works and tell me it's the big GB, aren't you?
It is Josh Bridges.
I thought so.
Because when he was at regionals, he basically either won it or lost. He was either outright.
Yeah, like first, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm not joking. You need to ask Francesca these questions. She did defo got them all right.
Right. Okay. I'll try and remember which ones I asked her because I have got loads more. But I'll throw some questions at her when we get her on. We
did some very good CrossFit questions the other day on our quiz. It was actually, we had some really he asked the gym things like, what was Fran's best place finish and John Reed's best place finish at regionals, and what was the worst one? It was hilarious. And then he was asking all different games, workouts. Pretty fun. Me
and Emma were coming up with the questions last night, and she kept asking questions, and I was like, she kept saying stuff, and I was like, no, that's subjective. You know what I mean? She was like, so who's the best CrossFitter ever? And I'm like, she didn't say that one, but that's an example. And I'm like, no, I we can have a difference of opinion on that, so I can't ask that question. Went back and on it for hours, honestly.
We were asking things like what state was the first CrossFit Games in and stuff like that. And obviously you could always tell it was Daniel was fuming if anyone was getting it wrong. He was you could see him and he was like, you can end your membership now if you don't know the answer to these questions.
Brilliant. Right. Okay, that was mega. So I think that's all the questions we've got for today. I'm sure we could keep talking forever, but just want to say thanks very much for coming on.
Very welcome.
Defo like to get you on again as well, and maybe get you on with Fran next time and let you argue it out.
I'll definitely pin our Francesca down for the next one. She's probably more entertained than me. She's achieved more than me in CrossFit anyway, so she's probably up there.
I don't know. I think
your stories are pretty good though.
Yeah.
Standing over the head with a barbell.
Honestly, literally, the stuff that's happened to me. I was the only girl to run the mile with a sandbag. And then Francesca tried to run alongside me and realised I was running that slow. She just walked next to me. She tried to be dead supportive and like tried to run with me. And then you just saw her just slowly like slow down and she was just walking. I was like, thanks, Fran.
Right. So, thank you everyone for tuning into AgogeTV. Obviously, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Leave a 5-star review, like, comment, and share. And before I go, actually, Loz, if anybody wants to catch up with you, is it Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that?
Anybody that anybody's got hold of and they see my face, just let me know.
What about if somebody wants to buy some Nocco? Yeah. Or barbell?
They can always drop me a message. I've, always able to get hold of Nocco for everyone.
I would like some of the new flavour, please.
Yeah,
some of the new. I need to actually. I actually wrote that down there. Saying it says lemon, Josh only.
Okay. Awesome. Right, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you all again next time. Peace.